Welcome to your dream. This is the most perfect chocolate cake recipe. It has a delicious chocolate ganache on top, and then some little shavings of chocolate and some edible flowers. I'm going to show you how to make it. This is the only chocolate cake recipe you will ever need. It is perfect for stacking, for making little mini cakes, mini loaves, literally everything. This is going to be your new go-to for your chocolate recipe. I have 3 eggs in the bowl, and then I'm going to add the caster sugar in. You want to get that nice and light and fluffy, so it's going to take about 5 minutes for this to really whip up. It's going to go a light creamy consistency. So we'll do a medium speed for that one, and then you can get your dries ready. So I'm just going to got a tiny sieve, my flour into a bowl, and then I'm going to add the cocoa and baking soda as well. Baking soda in. And then I have some Dutch cocoa. I always sieve cocoa because it has lots of lumps all the time. So if I'm feeling lazy, I won't sieve the flour, but cocoa every single time goes through a sieve. See? Just gonna push that through. This cake is yum because it has real chocolate in it. So I have just melted the chocolate there, and then I've got all of my ingredients ready to put in the mixer when the sugar and the eggs has beaten up. I'm just going to scrape down the sides because sometimes the sugar will get a little bit stuck to the bowl. It's getting there though, it's getting really pale, so now it just needs to thicken up a little bit. So there it is there. It's nice and light. The sugar has started to dissolve and we've incorporated a lot of air into that. So now it's time to move on to the next step. So we're gonna add in the chocolate and the oil. I like to work quickly at this point because I don't want the chocolate to start to set in the mixer bowl. So I'm gonna quickly get the melted chocolate in, the oil in, and then I'm gonna go straight in with the dries and then the milk. So it's actually quite a quick cake because you have to work fast. I'm going to do the oil first, all in, and then the chocolate all in as well. I like to just lift up the mixer head so I can put all of the dries in easier. Okay, and then back on, and I'm going to pour the milk in and just stream it in. Medium speed, and then get it in. So there's the mixture there. It's quite runny. That's all good. That's how it's supposed to be. And I have a 8-inch tin. I'm just going to spray it with some oil. I like to do one spray first, put the baking paper round in, and then give it another spray. Get the mixture all into the tin. So this really depends on your oven with the bake time. I'm going to check it at 45 minutes. I know it won't be ready, but I might just see how it's going. Might need a little rotate in the oven. It'll need closer to an hour, maybe even 70 minutes. Next up, I'm going to make the chocolate ganache. So I'm going to make this while the cake is in the oven, and then by the time the cake is baked and cooled, the ganache will be set as well. So I'm just going to zero in my scales. Gonna get 500 grams of chocolate and then 400 mils of cream. I like to just do this in the microwave, it's way easier. So I'm gonna pour that in. I'm gonna put that into the microwave for a minute and then give it a stir, and then I'm gonna put it in for another minute. This is the microwave, but you can't see it. Back into the microwave. The chocolate and cream is in the microwave, and while that's in there, I've got everything else ready. So I just got a whisk, sieve, and then another bowl to transfer the ganache into, because we don't want lumps in the ganache, so we're gonna get it out through the sieve. I'm gonna put this back into the microwave, so then it's gonna be in the microwave for 4 minutes in total. Oh, that's hot. Oh, okay. Just gonna get a whisk in, give it a really good stir. So be careful because the cream is super hot now. And it's gonna start to come together. And it'll get really nice and smooth as all the chocolate melts. Ganache is the best thing ever. It's so delicious on cakes. Okay, just pour that through the sieve. What is wrong with this bowl? By putting it through the sieve, it just means that if there's any chocolate that's not completely melted, you can catch that here. But this is looking pretty good, but I still do it every time just in case. So through the sieve, you can scrape the bottom. Just give it a little mix. And then we're going to put that aside, and then it will cool down and firm up. Nice. So we're going to leave that to cool down. Probably take a couple of hours actually. The cake is completely cool now, so I'm going to flip it onto the wire rack. Don't forget to take off your bit of baking paper. Don't want to be eating that. I have my serving plate, so just put that onto the bottom of your cake. Flip it over. I broke my cake leveler, so this could go really bad. I'm gonna cut the cake in half with a serrated knife. All right, so I'm gonna figure out the middle, and then I'm gonna, instead of cutting through the cake, I'm just gonna go around it. Pray for me, this is scary. I never cut them evenly. So hopefully this will look all right. Flip it on. Oh yeah, it's all right. I can work with that. Okay. This is the consistency you want the ganache to be, so very workable. If it's still a little bit runny, just put it in the fridge and it'll firm up faster. Don't use it any runnier than this though, because it'll just slide everywhere, it will smush on your cake, so you don't want that. Just gonna put a little bit of the ganache in the center. That is actually the best cutting I've ever done. I did one last week and it was on the biggest angle. The cake had no bottom layer on the one side. Anyways, we're moving up in the world. I've impressed myself again. Get your palette knife. This is just a small offset palette knife or spatula, and I'm gonna work from the center and push the ganache towards the outside of the cake. So I don't actually work with the edge of the icing. I work a couple of centimeters in and push the ganache out to the center that way. So yeah, I'm never actually putting the palette knife on the very outside. big sweeping movements right to the edge using the turntable, because I always like to work on my left-hand side because I'm right-handed. So I'm moving the cake with the turntable, so I'm always working right here. I'm never working everywhere else. So this is just where it feels comfortable for my hand and my positioning. Okay, just a nice little thin layer. I have a little bit of a divot there, so I'm just gonna put a touch more of the ganache down. Go down to eye level. Okay. One tiny bit more there. Okay, nice, nice. Okay, have to be really careful with that top layer. And quickly back on, and then adjust. I'm not gonna do a crumb coat for this one, but all of the ganache that has come out around the sides, I'm just gonna get the palette knife, just kind of smear it in. I'm gonna put this in the fridge for 5 minutes, just to firm up slightly, because we don't want the two cake layers to slide. Okay, because this is our final layer of icing with the ganache, just gonna clean the plate up. Okay. Get a couple of big scoops of the ganache on top. I like to work from the top and push the icing down the sides. Again, just using the palette knife and pressing the icing to the edges. Okay, I'm gonna go in with one more scoop. And see, I've put it down in my little left-hand corner, because then I'm gonna start pushing it down the sides. And then just do small movements. Small little movements all around the edge of the cake. So I like the rustic look of the ganache. I'm not going to use a cake scraper today, and using those little small flicking kind of motions, it looks rustic on purpose rather than like just being bad at cake decorating. So small tiny flicks around the whole thing. And remember, the chocolate ganache is quite rich, so we don't need a really thick layer of it, especially because it's in the center as well. Just flicking my wrist a little bit. Just so you know, I'm definitely doing the flicks on purpose, and it's not just a badly iced cake. And then some more movements around the top. Just gonna go in with that paper towel again. Decorating with just a palette knife like this is actually harder than it looks. It still takes practice. I love doing chocolate shavings on cakes. It's such an easy, fast decoration, and it makes a cake look so much better. I have this big block of 5 kilo Calabo dark chocolate. Just use a small regular at-home block. You probably don't have this, but we have this in the bakery. So I'm just pushing really firmly down on the chocolate, and it's making some shavings. Try not to touch the chocolate too much because it will melt in your fingers because it's so thin. Just gonna go around the edges. I'm gonna go in with some edible flowers, but I'm actually gonna pull the petals apart today. So cute and simple. This is delicious with salted caramel sauce. going to take it off the turntable to cut it because I don't want the cake to go sliding. Moment of truth.